Hello and welcome back to the Workbench. This is where we discuss ceiling fan history, trivia, and technical information. Today, this has got to be the most requested topic in this series. The history of FASCO ceiling fans, the history of Thomas ceiling fans, and how were they connected. So first, a little preliminary history. FASCO was founded in 1911 as the F.A. Smith Manufacturing Company, making motors and desk fans. In 1950, they changed their name to FASCO Industries, and by the 70s, they were a huge company with plants in many states making many different items. Thomas Lighting was founded in 1919 as Moe Brothers Lighting, making residential lighting fixtures. They were bought out by Lee Thomas in 1948. The name was changed to Thomas Industries in 1953, and like FASCO, by the 70s, they were a huge company with plants in many states. So, let us fast forward to 1979. FASCO introduces their fan line. FASCO plants in Fayetteville, North Carolina did stamping and assembly. They did not do any casting, they did not do any plating, they did not do any woodworking, they did not make any light kits or glass. All of that stuff was brought in from other companies, and they assembled the fans and did the metal stamping. The motors came from the FASCO plant in Missouri. Blades and cast parts were brought in from third-party factories. FASCO did no plating, so all the brass parts were brought in already plated and stamped into the proper shapes. Their first fan lines were the Parlour Fan, the Centennial, and the Spartan. The Spartan was sold only to lumber stores, home centers, and lower-end lighting retailers. FASCO was the high-end brand name for electrical wholesalers like Cresco, Graybar, Rexel, and higher-end lighting showrooms. So remember how we talked in the last few videos about how companies like Kraftmade and Murray Feiss would have their fans sold in showrooms, and then they would sell the same fans for a cheaper price, but not under their name in cheaper retailers. FASCO did the same thing. Spartan was their line of fans for the cheaper retailers, and FASCO was their primary through the electrical wholesalers and lighting showrooms. So that's 1979. In 1980, FASCO made fans for Thomas for 1 year only. Thomas Fuller and Douglas Bray designed the Thomas fans in coordination with FASCO. Thomas fans are advertised as British India. Thomas made their own light kits. FASCO bought light kits from other companies, including Thomas. So that is how the relationship came to be. And as you'll see, there's a lot of back scratching going on back and forth, with FASCO supplying the fans, Thomas supplying light kits. Let's move forward to 1981. FASCO's answer to Slumber Quiet is patented. They introduce Very Low, which is their variable speed with the pull chain and the SCR, and it's meant to be quiet. They introduce cane blades. It's also the last year of Spartan at JCPenney. After that, JCPenney went with David Moss. It's the last year of the Centennial, except for clearance. The heat cycler was designed in 1981 by product manager Dennis Fallon. It was intended to be too ugly for residential use. They wanted their residential customers to buy their residential fans. They did not want them to buy the heat cycler. Guess what? It ended up becoming very popular among steampunk designers, and they sold a ton residentially anyways. Also in 1981, Hawker Siddeley from England buys FASCO. Up until then, FASCO was family owned. We're still in 1981. Douglas Bray, a designer for Thomas, designed the world's first Hugger ceiling fan. FASCO thought he was a genius. FASCO makes the first few Hugger fans for Thomas. Thomas wants cheaper production, so they start sourcing GE motors. FASCO thought the GE motors were garbage, refused to use them, and they're not interested in making their fans any cheaper. So in 1981, FASCO stops making fans for Thomas. Thomas Fuller, VP of Thomas and co-designer of the Thomas fans, later becomes president of FASCO. Remember how I was telling you about how the moving pieces in the back scratching? So that's 1981. And if you want to know whether your Thomas fan was made by FASCO or not, all you have to do is look at the motor. If it has a FASCO motor, it's made by FASCO. If it does not have a FASCO motor, it was not made in any way by FASCO. In 1982, FASCO introduces the ornate Parlour Fan, the Old South, the World's Fair, and the Charleston. John Arbaugh, a FASCO salesman, designed the Charleston on a napkin while at lunch at the Holiday Inn Airport in Fayetteville, North Carolina. He handed the napkin to the CEO, and the CEO put it into production immediately. David Wilson, the current president of FASCO before Thomas Fuller took over, and Rick Eden, a manager, designed the World's Fair ceiling fan series. That's 1982 FASCO. Let's go over to Thomas. In 1982, that's the first appearance of the rubber flywheel fans by Thomas. Most of their fans still have the metal flywheel. The metal flywheel fans are called the British India. The rubber flywheel fans are called the Lancer. And again, some of their fans still look very similar to FASCO, even though FASCO is no longer making them. That's for two reasons. One, they were co-designed by Thomas and FASCO. And then two, is that they're still buying parts from the same suppliers. Because remember, FASCO didn't make anything other than the motors. They bought all the parts, assembled the fans. Thomas is now buying from the same suppliers. So, let's go to 1983. In 1983, FASCO introduces the Savannah, which later becomes the second generation Charleston. But in 1983, it is known as the Savannah. In 1983, Thomas is still selling metal and rubber flywheel fans sold side by side. It is the last year for the British India series. In 1984, FASCO now introduces the second generation Charleston, which was previously the Savannah. The Parlour Fan is gone by 1984. Also in 1984, FASCO introduced some new models by knowingly copying other fan companies with the Boca Raton and the Olde Fayetteville. In 1984, Thomas is all rubber flywheel fans. So notice what's happening. They are phasing out the fans that they designed together, the British India and the Parlour Fan, and they're phasing in the fans that are much more separate between the two companies. But again, there's still some back scratching and still some back and forth going on. Let's keep going. 1985. This is the last year of FASCO using Spartan in advertising. Last year that the Parlour Fan shows up. Most ads in 1985 are for the Charleston. Thomas is still selling the rubber flywheel fans in 1985, and there's a possible import sighting. Now, both FASCO and Thomas started importing fans, most commonly from Halsey, in the late 80s, and clearly they were coordinating because their fans were very similar. We don't have a confirmed sighting in 1985, but we have a possibility that Thomas was importing as early as 1985. Okay, in 1986, FASCO is promoting their new 5-blade fans. They've got the 5-blade Charlestons, the state fairs, that kind of stuff. All shows up in 1986. FASCO introduces remote-controlled fans in 1986, and also the import FASCOs show up in 1986. In 1987, Tony Pierce and John Arbaugh of FASCO designed the American Spirit fan line by going back and forth on fax machines on a Saturday afternoon. They're not in the office, they're at home, they're faxing each other back and forth until they come up with the design they like. That's how they came up with the American Spirit. The American Spirit became FASCO's second biggest selling fan of all time. In 1988, FASCO is promoting their Gulfstream import fans heavily. Thomas is selling fans using a picture of an import spinner. Do they actually import spinners? I've never seen one, but I'd like to find it if that's the case. All I can tell you is what the picture is. That's 1988. In 1990, FASCO is again promoting the Charleston Heavy. In 1991, FASCO is promoting the Snugger, Vanity Fair, Decorator, Florentine, American Spirit, all by name. The Porchfan shows up by name. They're promoting their American-made fans and their import fans side by side in 1991. In 1991 is the first year that we officially know that Thomas is importing Halsey 5-blade fans. It was probably a lot earlier, but they show up confirmed in 1991. In 1992, FASCO has a lot of ads, mostly showing their import lines. No more Thomas that I can find. 1994, FASCO is advertising the Gulfstream and the Charleston. In 1995, the Rival Corporation buys FASCO. In 1996 is the last mention of Thomas ceiling fans in advertising. So, that brings us all the way until the late 90s when Marley buys FASCO and coincidentally Patton from Rival Company. Marley continues selling FASCO old stock until about 2009. Any Marley fans that actually have a FASCO motor in them were FASCO old stock. They were not produced by Marley. And they stopped selling fans in about 2009. So, that is the history of Thomas and FASCO ceiling fans. I have one more note. This video would not be possible without someone named Jim Lindsey. Jim Lindsey was an employee of FASCO. He was also a member of the American Fan Collectors Association, and he collected old fans, mainly FASCO desk fans. He was one of the kindest people that I've met in fan collecting. Anybody else who was involved in fan collecting in the 90s would probably say the same thing. He gave me some FASCO products. He gave me some FASCO swag. He loved to talk about FASCO. And so when I was trying to research this, and again, with FASCO being such a big company, Thomas being such a huge company, and I would try to call and email and see who I could talk to, and hardly anybody would want to talk to me. But if I found someone who was around in the 80s, if I mentioned the name Jim Lindsey, then they would talk to me because everybody knew him and everybody knew what a great guy he was. So this video is dedicated to him. Jim Lindsey, thank you for all your FASCO knowledge and information and products and things that you did for fan collectors over the years. He passed away many years ago. I don't remember exactly when it was, early 2000s, I think, and he is definitely missed by those that knew him. So he is an important part of FASCO history as well. So on that note, please continue to support this channel. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please continue to support us in podcasting form. You can hear this video and many others in audiobook form on Spotify, Anchor Podcasts, anywhere podcasts are sold. And that is made possible by our great sponsor, FanStick. Please buy FanStick.